Welcome to Studio 23 Nashville Live, featuring in-concert performances by Bobby Marquez and Les Kerr. Studio 23 Nashville Live is brought to you by the Law Office of Lavelle Glanton, Expedia Cruise Ship Centers Nashville West, and World Music Nashville. Now, here's your hosts, Jennifer Herron and Brian Cumming.
What we have tonight is a band with 4 people, including me, and 2 of those other people are also artists who write songs who've been guests on the Studio 23 Nashville show. And so I think I want to start at the very beginning of where music starts, which is the groove and the bottom and the foundation. It's rhythm, it's the drummer. This is the one guy who is not a songwriter. He doesn't need to be a songwriter because he plays drums so good that people like Tina Turner and Joe Cocker and Elton John hire him to play drums for them. I've had the good pleasure of working with him since, let's see, was it the 70s? Maybe, or 80s. I don't remember.
Yeah, he doesn't
there you
remember.
go. There's
You're
the testimony.
dating him, please.
So anyway, I'm going to start by introducing you to this wonderful friend, wonderful drummer, Mr. Jack Bruno. Come on, get up here. We're bringing the band up to the stage. It's hard to know. Do you want to say anything about Lance or Mark?
Okay, so if anybody was listening to WSM yesterday afternoon, I was bragging on Lance Hoppin over here, and I said, oh my gosh, you know who Lance is, and he was part of that group Orleans, and I go, and you know the song, and I break into it, and I've got Brian there with me and a couple of other great singers, including Radney Foster, and they all sit there and look at me like, Lord, what song is that? You're the worst singer I've ever heard. So you sing it. Sing that line.
No.
Come
you
on.
mean,
Yeah.
still the one, I said, no, it's going to sound like a swing song.
Yeah. So that was Orleans, and that is Lance Hoppin over there. We've had the pleasure of visiting with him on Studio 23 Nashville.
Yeah.
What an amazing career, and still going strong. They're still playing shows all over the place.
So please welcome to the stage, Lance Hoppin. Yes. He's so good. Watch out.
You are a legend, sir. Take your place on stage.
You want to say something nice about Mark?
Wow. Every time we turn around, Mark has played with the biggest of the biggest stars. And, and I mentioned Radney Foster, who we were just visiting with yesterday. And Radney Foster goes, I know Mark T. Jordan. But not only do they brag about his playing, they always say what an amazing guy he is. So that is really something, It really, truly is. Go down the list of who all he's played with.
Well, I love the story about when he went to California for the first time, and he just landed in a situation where he was working with an artist named Van Morrison on an album called Tupelo Honey. I mean, for those of you who've been around a little while, you know that's kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. So, and then he worked with Dave Mason for a few years, a few albums, and he actually played it. If you know that song, Feeling All Right, Not Feeling Too Good Myself, Dave Mason wrote it. It was originally done when Dave Mason was in Traffic, a very different version from the version you probably know by Joe Cocker. And so Dave Mason himself did a version on his own album several years after the Joe Cocker version, and Mark is playing the piano on that, and it sounds great. And he takes a piano. So I recommend that you check out the Dave Mason version of his song, Feeling All Right, and listen to Mark Jordan do some of that fabulous stuff he does so well. Well, let's bring him to the stage, one of our very favorite piano players in the world, Mr. Mark Jordan. Mark
Isn't he
T.
cute?
Jordan. All right.
I love his smile. He's so cute.
When we were putting the show together, the television show, in my basement in the studio with Jennifer and Vince and Tommy, the intrepid videographer who keeps the cameras rolling and in focus, the very first guest that we thought of was Bobby Marquez. And I'm glad we got him. Bobby is a great guy and really the real deal for country music. He's from Texas, which really is a great place to start, isn't it?
It sure is. I tell you what, Texas has all kinds of music. Everybody automatically thinks of the country music and the shuffles and stuff. And Bobby is more true to that sound. You would automatically think of more of the honky-tonk style sound. But that's where I met Bobby Marquez. I was working at KKYX Radio in San Antonio, Texas. And Bobby had come through the door with a little CD with a song called Bluebonnet Baby. And we'd play it on the radio. And I enjoyed seeing him open for a lot of big country stars back back in the day. Bobby moved over here to Nashville, Tennessee, and convinced me that this is where I needed to be too. So he's responsible for my move over here, by the way. But since then, he's gone on to some great things. CMA of Texas just awarded him Cowboy Western Artist of the Year. Real proud of him for that. He's also up for some Academy of Western Artist Awards. He's up for Western Song of the Year. He wrote a special song called The Cowboy Way. He is also up for a pure country song called Marlboro Man that George Strait recorded. Yeah,
Whoa.
so some success with the songwriting. And as a singer, he's up for male country music singer over there at the AWA. Yeah,
And he's won awards in Europe and in Australia, isn't it? Yeah, he gets around.
Great success and a lot of great touring. He's been very blessed.
Well, I'm really glad we got him here, and he is our opening act at the beginning of the 7 artists who are going to be here tonight. So, is it time?
Yeah.
Shall we bring him on?
Would you like to put your hands together?
Ladies
the guy
and
with
gentlemen.
the cowboy hat? Would
Yes,
y'all put your hands
Mr.
together for Bobby
Marquez.
Marquez? There's that guy we've been bragging on. Look at that smile.
We're gonna kick it off here. This is a song that I wrote one of my first years when I came to Nashville, and I ended up getting to do a duet with the great Johnny Rodriguez on this song. So I hope you like it. It's a song called Neon Tan. Came to the beach to have some fun and get away. It must be 103 in the shade. You can bake in the sun, but as for me, that bar on the beach is where I'll be. Yeah, I'll be working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. Yeah. I won't have to worry about those UV rays burning my skin and peeling for days and days. No sand in my pants, no oil on my skin. From the glow on my face, you'll know I've been. Yeah, I'll be working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. Oh, while you're roasting, I'll be toasting 2-for-1 tequilas. And while you're sweating, I'll be getting to know the senorita. And working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. Yeah, I'll be working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. With a tequila in my left hand, working on my neon tan. Yeah. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much. That's always a fun one to do. I love that song. Well, thank you so much for having me, Brian. And man, this is fun. This is just awesome. I guarantee you. I'm going to slow it down here, and I'm going to do a song that it was about the same time that I wrote Neon Tan. And I've been in Nashville since 98. Can you believe it? Since November of 98 was when I moved to Nashville. And I probably wrote this song in about 2000, I guess, when the millennium came around. And I grew up in a small little town in Texas and about 3,000 people. And if you drive through the town, if you missed a stoplight, you missed everything. And so we didn't have much. I mean, we didn't really have much to do all day, but just kind of drive around and everything, and play the guitar and sing basically. And that's how I got my music going. I found a guitar and picked it up and started singing, and I've been doing it ever since. And when I moved to Nashville, I started writing songs, and I was very, very close to my grandmother growing up. And I was thinking about my grandmother a lot one day, and I was trying to figure out a song of how to commemorate her. And I kept thinking about my life growing up in the small town and everything, and I came up with this song, and hope you like it. It's one of my favorite songs that I've written. I got to write it with the great Karen Staley, who wrote Keeper of the Stars for Tracy Byrd, and she's just written a lot of great songs over the years. I hope you like it. It goes like this, a song called That's Life. I was born in a tiny town where being poor never got us down. That's a life. What Daddy'd say, that's a life. He taught us to work, to chase our dreams. The golden rule, value lasting things. That's a life. Well, yeah, son, that's life. Some you win, some you lose. Some you're born with, some you choose. You gotta play the hand you're dealt. Believe in God and yourself. I've seen a lot of change through the years. Love and loss, happiness and tears. That's a life. Well, yeah, you know that's a life. But for every hard lesson learned, I got 20 blessings in return. That's a life. Well, thank God that's life. Oh, play it, boys. Brian coming on the lead guitar first. Circle that goes on and on. The darkest hours are before the dawn. A roller coaster of ups and downs. No matter what, the world still spins round. Grandma died last Friday night. Sunday we went to church and said goodbye. That's life. I guess that's a life. Tuesday sister had a baby boy. The family gathered round to share her joy. That's life. Well, oh yeah, that's life. Oh, that's a life. Well, that's real life.
Stay tuned for more Studio 23 Nashville Live, presented by Expedia Cruise Ship Centers Nashville West, the Law Office of Lavelle Glanton, and World Music Nashville.
I suffered a life-changing injury. Mr. Lavelle Glanton took my case. He walked me through the process and was with me every step of the way. Thanks to Mr. Glanton, I won my case. Now when I hear someone needs an attorney, I tell them to call Mr. Lavelle Glanton. I would recommend him to anyone.
The Law Office of Lavelle Glanton. Real people, real cases, real results. 888-495-4529. Online at glantonlaw.com. For the ultimate vacation, you need more than just a website. You need a professional that's passionate about travel. You need Expedia Cruise Ship Centers and more, conveniently located on Highway 70 in West Nashville.
We come to Expedia Cruise Ship Centers because they really listen to what you have to say. It might not be something you've thought of before. You just tell them what you would like to see, where you'd like to go, and they work it out for you. I mean, it couldn't be better.
Advice you can trust. Expedia Cruise Ship Center and more. In 2 weeks, Studio 23 Nashville returns with in-concert performances from Cherie Pepper, Mark T. Jordan, and Lance Hoppin. Next week, don't miss Studio 23 Nashville with country music superstar Jeff Bates.
Boy, how about this great band up here? My goodness. Oh, sounding really good, guys. Sounding really, really good. Thank you for that, folks. I really appreciate that. I'm going to end it here with a song that, boy, I was very, very fortunate to get this song by one of the greatest songwriters in Nashville, in country music, actually. This guy's written about every song for George Strait, Alan Jackson, George Jones. And my wife, Jennifer, was actually at the Grand Ole Opry one night. She was backstage when she used to work at WSM. And she was back there, and the great Jim Lauderdale was up there singing this song. And she said, Bobby, she said, I remember this song. And she goes, I think that's you. I think you ought to record this song. And so whenever I had the chance, I got to talk to Jim, and I asked him if I could have this song and record it. He said, absolutely. And it turned out that it was Jim Lauderdale's dad's favorite song that Jim had written. And we got to do a video on it. The great Vince Pinkerton got to shoot this video, and we've had a lot of success on it. The Country Network, all these video outlets have been playing it all over the country, and I'm just very, very proud of it. It's a song called Whisper. I hope you like it. Well, I see you over there, smiling at the way I stare. I make a wish that you would be near enough to hear me when I whisper, whisper. Well, I would think I love you. Whisper, whisper. I think I love you too. If I had a chance or two, well, I'd make sure that you knew what's running through this heart of mine, in case you care to know. And then I'll whisper, whisper. Well, I would think I love you. Whisper, whisper. I think I love you too. Oh, here we go. Oh, I just want to tell you, well, I wish that you were mine. I'd love you so sweetly, be yours completely, well, all the time. Well, maybe in our autumn days, when my hair has turned to gray, I will take you by the hand and pull you close to me, and then I'll whisper, whisper. Well, I will think I love you. Whisper, whisper, I think I love you too. Why I'd like to whisper. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much.
Well, we have some more acts coming up here. I want to brag on this next guy because his music is hillbilly blues, Caribbean rock and roll. So when we said we'd have a great mix for you, we really meant it. This guy is absolutely amazing. Any fans of the Bluebird Cafe Songwriters Nights? This guy headlines a lot, and he even has his own Mardi Gras show out there. Also, he is hosting some shows on PBS where he gives the history of Music Row and gets in depth about music, so we're really proud for him. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, would you put your hands together for the sharp-dressed man over here named Les Coeurs?
Yes.
I grew up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Pascagoula, Mississippi is my hometown, and the whole corridor between Pensacola, Florida, and New Orleans has always been kind of my stomping ground, so I've spent a lot of time in New Orleans, and this song sort of comes from that. And I'm happy that Mr. Steve Kahn, who has written one of my favorite songs, I'm going to Wake Up Mardi Gras Morning down in New Orleans, is going to play the accordion. How about a hand for Steve Kahn right there? She said, can you come to Mardi Gras? It's not too far away. We'll have some people over. They'd love to hear you play. We can have a party in my courtyard and you can sing. Can you plan to come back to New Orleans in the spring? She said, can you come to Carnival for just a day or two? I know how much you love it, and I'd sure love to see you. We can spend some time alone or go to the parades, and you and I can share the best that Julius ever made. She said, I can take a few days off from work while you are here. Everybody does it around that time of year. We don't have to talk about true love or anything. If only you can come back to New Orleans in the spring. She said, let me check my calendar. Easter's late next year. That makes me glad because it will be warm while you are here. Don't let me talk you into something you don't want to do. But springtime's not the same down here when I'm away from you. She said, I can take a few days off from work while you are here. Everybody does it around that time of year. We don't have to talk about true love or anything. If only you can come back to New Orleans in the spring. I will very much. I appreciate it. That song has actually gotten some radio airplay in France. I don't know how that happened, but I'm all grateful for it. And here in the United States, too. So, Brian, as I said, he and I have worked together, and he records on every CD with me and does all the horn arrangements for my Bayou Band. So he's a real good friend and a dear acquaintance that we've known each other for 25 years this year.
At least. All right.
So,
one of my favorite songs that you have written is this one that you're about to do, because it dares to tackle the whole issue of how you feel when you're home or when you're away from home. Like what kind of a draw that has.
Well, it came from the fact that, I've been in Nashville 30 years. In fact, I live right here in Bellevue, where all the stars live. And so it's nice to be able to play in my own hometown, my own neighborhood. But anyway, I do travel back and forth still to New Orleans, to the Mississippi coast, and to Mobile, Alabama, places along the upper Gulf Coast. And before you could buy it here locally, I used to stock up whenever I was down there on coffee with chicory, which you could buy in the grocery stores. And they weren't selling it anywhere in Nashville. So I would always stock up. And one day I was coming back from the Gulf Coast and with a trunk load of Café du Monde coffee with chicory. And I was thinking, you know what, the reason that I'm carrying this is because it reminds me of home. And I still, to this day, drink coffee with chicory every morning. I'd heard an NPR radio report on how people from the American South and people from Ireland become the most nostalgic when they're away from their own home, and the least likely to really return if they go too far away. So all those thoughts came back into my mind, and the songwriters in this room will understand how this works. I had been playing in Destin, Florida, and I was driving mainly two-lane roads up to the middle of Alabama where I could get back on I-65. I stopped at a gas station convenience store, bought a legal pad and a pen, and so I wrote the first verse of this song. And then I got to the next little town, I pulled off, and I wrote this. By the time I got back to Nashville, I had this song written. And Steve and Brian do a wonderful job accompanying me. This is on my most current album. It's called Southerners and Irishmen. Southerners and Irishmen always long for home, no matter how far they're away or how long they've been gone. The little things that take them there for moments at a time are elevated to a place that's sacred in their minds. To hear a fiddle play a piece of some old Irish reel can cause a man from County Cork to genuflect and kneel. A Georgia lady in New York might fall down on her knees if someone merely speaks the words, "My mama's black-eyed peas." Show a cotton bowl to a Mississippi sun, or talk about the bluegrass with an old Kentuckian. Find a displaced Dubliner and sing, "Oh Danny boy," and smiling eyes will soon be filled with grateful tears of joy. I do my best to keep a taste of home right close at hand. I guard coffee with chicory like smuggler's contraband. Be it Irish whiskey or fried chicken with green beans, Southerners and Irishmen are brought home by such things. Southerners and Irishmen always long for home, no matter how far they're away or how long they've been gone. Others have a sense of sight, of hearing, touch, and taste, but Southerners and Irishmen are blessed with sense of place. Southerners and Irishmen always long for home. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Studio 23 Nashville Live, presented by Expedia Cruise Ship Centers Nashville West, the Law Office of Lavelle Glanton, and World Music Nashville. For the ultimate vacation, you need more than just a website. You need a professional that's passionate about travel. You need Expedia Cruise Ship Centers and more, conveniently located on Highway 70 in West Nashville.
I knew it was a great organization, so there wasn't any hesitation when I needed to book a flight. If you need help with any travel plans, not just cruises, you definitely need to talk to Expedia Cruise Ship Centers.
More than cruising, always there. Expedia Cruise Ship Center and more. Last year in Middle Tennessee, tractor trailers contributed to over 1,000 personal injury accidents.
The surgery was a success.
He'll live, but his recovery will be long, painful, and expensive.
He's going to need a good lawyer, someone who knows the law inside and out, someone with experience in auto accident cases. He needs to call Dad.
I'm Attorney Lavelle Glanton. If you or someone you know have been seriously injured in a tractor-trailer truck accident, call me today.
This song is about my favorite little restaurant in New Orleans, and I'll tell you, it's one that I've been going to for years, and I was the last person to make a 45 RPM record that thought people were still buying them. And I made one, and this was the A side of the single. The reason it was the A side was because I went to the name of this place called the Camellia Grill, and I went to them and I said, I'm going to make a record. They said, well, if you make our song the A side, then we'll put it in the cash register and people can buy it when they go out. I said, all right. The great thing about the Camellia Grill is it's been there for a long time, and thanks to this song, I was able to play at their 40th anniversary years ago, and I'm one of the few musicians that's ever actually played in the Camellia Grill. But that's the name of the song, and I love to get down there. The best way is to take the streetcar all the way out St. Charles Avenue from the French Quarter, past Lee Circle, past the Audubon Zoo, past Tulane University, and you know that St. Charles makes that U-turn and becomes Carrollton. And you get off at the first streetcar stop, go into the Camellia Grill, order 2 eggs over easy with sausage and French fries on the side. There's a little cafe down on Carrollton Street. It's my favorite place to eat. You sit down, order, and eat your fill. There ain't no place better than Camellia Grill. At the Camellia Grill, jive can't waiters. The Camellia Grill, French fried potatoes. You sit down, order, and eat your fill. There ain't no place better than Camellia Grill. They got a jive cat waiter, he never stands still. He's moving all around the grill. There's no coffee better than his. You don't order it black, just say I'll have it as is. At the Camellia Grill, jive cat waiters. The Camellia Grill, French fried potatoes. You sit down, order, and eat your fill. There ain't no place better than Camellia Grill. Over and you're feeling alright. The Camellia Grill is open late at night. How'd you like those 2 eggs fried? Get sausage and French fries on the side at the Camellia Grill. Jive cat waiters, the Camellia Grill, French fried potatoes. You sit down, order, and eat your fill. There ain't no place better than Camellia Grill. At the Camellia Grill, jive cat waiters, the Camellia Grill, French fried potatoes. You sit down on and eat your fill. There ain't no place better than Camellia Grill. There ain't no place better than Camellia Grill. Thank y'all all so much. Thank you for this great band. Thank you, Brian and Vince.